Hi gentlemen, this is page number 90. The first question, what should be the velocity of steam at low pressure? It is 2.45 to 3 meter per second. Question, what should be the steam velocity at high pressure? Answer is 0.6 meter per second. Question, the scrubber is not highly effective in removing small quantities of fine mists suspended in steam, as more efficient scrubbers are impractical. Why? Answer, more efficient scrubbers cannot be designed because of the limitations imposed by such factors as plugging, corrosion, and pressure drop. A scrubber covered with a heavy accumulation of wet foam may break and give rise to a high degree of carryover. Question, a scrubber fitted together with a washer is more efficient. Why? Answer, as the steam passes through the washer, the moisture droplets suspended in the steam get enlarged, lending themselves more amenable to fall out upon the contact with the metal surfaces as the steam moves through the scrubber. This increases the effectiveness of the scrubber and helps reduce the carryover. Question, what is dry drum? Answer, it is an additional drum fitted occasionally above the boiler drum, proper as an extra safeguard from carryover, as no boiler water is held up within its space. It is called a dry drum. For what purpose is dry drum set up? A dry drum sufficiently large and provided with adequate drainage facility is a good protection against priming and foam over. Question, what are the basic elements of consideration in designing a boiler drum? Answer, limitation of space, even distribution of steam, pressure drop across the unit, drainage facility, problem of corrosion, accessibility to drum internals, problem of dirt deposition, cleaning, and weight, strength, method of installation. In this diagram, you can see the drum arrangement. The dry drum is in the upper diagram. From the dry drum, to superheater, superheat steam is available. Drain is available in the bottom of the dry drum, and bottom of the dry drum we can see the downcomers. Bottom of the diagram we can see the two drums. It includes the reversing hood washer and downcomers and steam risers. Then the outlet steam goes from the right side of the drum to the dry drum through the scrubber. So the baffle arrangement we can see in the left side of the drum, and reversing hood washer also we can see, and feed water inlet also we can see in the right side of the diagram as a circular round. So next question, why is feed water treatment added to the boiler rather than the feed water itself? Answer, this is to eliminate the problem of plugging of washer by sludge resulting from chemical reactions. Question, in some marine boilers, water baffles called swash plates are installed in the lower half of athwart ship, across ship, steam drums. Why? Again repeating, in some marine boilers, water baffles called swash plates are installed in the lower half of athwart ship, steam drums. Why? Answer, this place reduces the surging of boiler water from end to end in drum as a ship rolls in choppy seas. So the next question, why is dual circulation boiler installed? Answer, for boilers operating at pressure above 4137 kN per meter square, 40.696 atmosphere, the absolutely of silica in steam becomes considerable and may cause blade deposition in the steam turbines. The dual circulation boiler is designed to eliminate this silica carryover in particular. How does it works? It works on the principle of stage evaporation. It has two separate heat absorbing sections. The heavy duty primary section is composed of furnace water valve tubes and furnace circulatory system, while the low duty secondary section is constituted of boiler convection tubes, tubes bank which is moderately heated. These two separate sections, each having its own independent circulating system, are functionally identical to two separate boilers mounted in one setting. Boiler feed water is delivered to the primary section, while continuous blowdown from this section serves as feed water to the secondary section. In comparison to the steam output of the unit, the blowdown from the primary section is considerable, rendering a low silica feed water maintained in the primary section, while a much higher concentration of silica is maintained in the secondary section, where the steam generation rate being comparatively low, the possible of foaming and excessive conveyor is produced. Since the primary section contributes the lion's share of overall steam output, a low concentration of silica in the boiler water of this section reduces the carryover of silica by steam. Moreover, the generated steam in the secondary section being scrubbed by feed water, a part of it gets condensed and the silica contamination in steam leaving this section is greatly reduced. The drum internals of these two sections are totally segregated by a baffle arrangement that does not allow the feed water and condensate to the dilute that feed to the secondary section, or the high silica water of the secondary section to contaminate the feed water in the primary section. We can see the dual circulation boiler. In this diagram we can see the blowdown in the left side of the diagram, and secondary section is the left side, primary section in the right side. Boiler tubes are available, and blowdown to secondary section is available. Steam goes to primary section boiler drum from the secondary section boiler drum. Boiler feed water, the baffles are arranged in the primary section boiler drum, so the steam leaves without water particles. We can see the water walls. This is the dual circulation boiler. Mainly this dual circulation boiler is used for reducing the silica reduce the silica content in the steam. So the next question, what are the distinct advantages of a dual circulation steam generation unit? Answer: marked reduction in carryover of silica as well as total dissolved solids in steam, permits higher impurity level in the intake feed, low blowdown as high concentration are maintained in the secondary section. This also minimizes heat loss and feed water makeup. Again I am repeating, low blowdown as high concentrations are maintained in the secondary section. This also minimizes heat loss and feed water makeup. Next, lower concentration of silica and TDS in boiler feed water in the high duty furnace section greatly reduces the danger of scaling, permits higher heat absorption rate over a prolonged period. Outage time and maintenance cost are minimal, needs small ergonomizer, reduces treatment chemical cost. The next question, what are the upper pressure limitations of boiler? Steel fired boiler is 10 to 17 atmosphere pressure. Steam water tube boiler, no effective limitations. Boiler for operation 340 atmosphere pressure have been built. Cast iron boiler is 1 atmosphere steam only permittable. So steel is 10 to 17, cast iron is 1 atmosphere pressure. 2 atmosphere hot water, although hot water Heater may be operated at 11 atmosphere pressure if the temperature does not exceed 120 degrees Celsius. So we can see in the next video further. Thank you.